it's Dolls, Toys, and Games Gal, and I'm super excited to show you the pirate ship bed that I made for my daughter's Monster High Vandala Doubloons doll, who is the daughter of the pirate ghost. First, I bought two 12-inch tall pirate ship wood shapes from thewoodshapestore.com. Next, I painted them in what I believe are Vandala Doubloons colors: coral rose and seafoam and silver and dark gray and black. Next, where Vandala is going to sleep is a smooth foam block covered in this fabric, which is black, white, grayish. But what I like about it is it kind of reminds me of water for some reason, like the surface of water. Then I hot glued that between the two pirate ship wood shapes to give Vandala a place to sleep. Vandala's footboard is going to be a ship's wheel and also this starfish charm. First, I painted the ship wheel in this coral color, and I'll be hot gluing the starfish charm in the middle. Vandala's blanket is going to be this gossamer looking seafoam-green colored fabric, which I really like. It represents something tattered and ghostly in my imagination. And there's the footboard hot glued to the end of her bed, and there's an aerial view of her blanket. I'm not adding any fancy trims to it because I just don't see that as being very Vandala, but I think it looks nice this way. You might remember this piece of pink mesh netting from Michelle Mermaid's bed. I'm going to use it in Vandala Doubloons' bed as well. Here are 3 popsicle sticks that I have painted a seafoam green, and I've hot glued them to certain parts of the 2 pirate ships. One to give the mesh netting a structure to hang on, and the other to kind of stabilize the 2 ships and keep them from getting too squishy at the top. Just like Vandala's hat has a mesh netting which has caught a seashell and a sea star and a fishbone, I'm going to add those things to the mesh netting in her pirate ship bed. So that was my clamshell. I've got a couple more. I also have this strand of starfish from Joann Fabrics and this fishbone charm, which was unfortunately broken, but the nice people there gave me 50% off for it. Score! And I think it'll work fine for my purposes, which is just to hot glue it to the back of this netting here to make it look like she's caught a bunch of sea creatures in her bed. And what's a ghost ship without chains, right? We gotta have chains everywhere. And we also have this anchor. It's a wood shape from thewoodshapestore.com. You guys can tell where I like to shop. And I've painted it a seafoam green and gray, and I'm hot gluing the chain to the wood shape, and I strung the chain through the anchor and wrapped it around one of the ship's lanterns so it can dangle off the back. To make Vandala a pillow, I took a rectangle of the same black, white, gray fabric from her bed sheet, and I will make it into a pillow and hot glue this pink mesh around it. And then I even added a few of the sea stars as well to make it look like more starfish were swept up in her net. Added some bling to both sides of the ship. Added this little pirate flag as well to the center sail. And I've added more chains from the very tops of the sails down to the bottom corners of the bed and even wound it through the ship's footboard. And so we are pretty much done. That's what Vandala's pirate ship bed looks like. Let me turn it around both ways so you guys can see what it looks like. There's the view from the front, so you can see where she puts her head down. Well, assuming I can get her hat off because that hat is a little too wide for this bed. Here's the other side of the ship, as you can see. And then turning it around the other way to give you a look at it from the back. You can see how the anchor dangles down from the back. And there's the mesh netting, which is probably my favorite part, and I love the shadow it throws off on the wall. The other thing I like about this bed is that it rocks, just like a real boat would, see? And then it kind of rocks to an equilibrium in the center. All right, well, I have a ton of shout outs to do, so let me get started. Shout outs go out to Devil Sally, Katie HOVAN, 1/6 Scale Crafter, Doll Life, DELILA Rose, and finally, Lauren Harris. Thank you all so much for watching my videos. If you liked this pirate ship bed, I hope you'll give this video a big thumbs up and also consider subscribing to my channel. Thanks for watching.